Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sonic 06 playthrough with me and Tom64.
And me, Fastest Thing Alive.
And today we shall be playing Silver's story.
Why?
Take it easy, FDA, take it easy.
Oh my god, have mercy on my soul and yours.
And as per usual with the recent Sonic games, we start off with a bit of melodrama.
Why must I live in such tragedy?
Ugh, Silver, grow a backbone.
No wonder my parents abandoned me.
Right, watch this. You will never be able to do this in the game.
Don't you hate that when I do stuff like that? I just remember when there was the first set of production art came in for Silver, a lot of people were thinking that a lot of people thought he was actually Shadow from the future.
That could work, except for the fact that Shadow never ages.
Yeah, but the thing I thought there was that the first picture I saw of his little mane on his chest, I thought it was actually a beard.
Oh yeah.
So I actually would, as did quite a few people.
Now, what did you find wrong with that previous scene, Gareth?
What, you mean the fact that Blaze the cat was in it?
Isn't she meant to be in another dimension?
Isn't she meant to be a princess from my alternate dimension, guardian of the Soul Emeralds? Yeah, I think she is.
Christ on a bike.
To expand on that, for those who don't know, the DS classic Sonic Rush came out about a year before this in the Christmas of 2005 and introduced the character of Blaze the Cat, who was a fiery cat who was came from an alternate dimension which crossed in with Sonic's world, and she was the guardian of the Soul Emeralds, which are basically that universe's version of the Chaos Emeralds. They actually, in fact, look like the original Sonic 1 version of the Chaos Emeralds.
I love that design of the Chaos Emeralds, especially how they were rendered in Sonic the Comic.
Oh yeah, because it's essentially they look like they really look like the original emeralds from the Sonic the Comic back when with them, which is they were originally 12, and then they formed to make the 6 at the time, the 6 actual emerald shapes, but I digress. So essentially a lot of fans took umbrage to the fact that this is only her second appearance, and already Sega have kind of cocked up her backstory, although some argue she's simply just been retconned. Although that the problem with that is of course is that like the Rush sequel, Sonic Rush Adventure, came out, and it again used Blaze as coming from an alternate dimension.
Yes.
Which some people, although because the Rush series is seen as a spin-off and not part of the main canon of games, some people just simply say, well, because it's a spin-off, it doesn't matter. Although, you know, of course some people would, and I think it's kind of lazy to have two separate. Although my real personal belief is that because of the Omega characters, they really didn't have anyone that could work for Silver, so I honestly believe they just fuck it, just put Blaze, have her come from the future, and she can be Silver's best friend.
They should have put Silver on his own, really. It would have given a lot more to his character development.
What's that? Sorry, say that again?
I think put Silver on his own, he has a lot more character development, and you know what? Give him a sword, because then he'll be a proper Trunks rip-off.
I actually like the Blaze and Silver relationship, in my opinion. Even though I think Silver as a character is quite really underdeveloped, I actually think the Blaze-Silver relationship is actually one of the most developed in the whole series.
Do you see it as a proper relationship or just a friendship?
Oh no, I see it clearly as a friendship. You know, unlike some people will try to put, you know, people like Shadow and Rouge as a couple. I think it's clear that Silver and Blaze are just friends. You know, even at the end, it goes, "You're my friend, right?"
Wee.
That weird little vortex in the background.
Oh, that's Iblis, don't you know?
Oh yeah, it's Iblis. The one of the most one time.
One of the most villains of all time?
One-dimensional villains. There's nothing to him other than just a big snake that likes to kill things. That's all he is, really. A fire snake that kills people.
He really is bland as all hell, isn't he?
He is. Christ, even Metal Sonic and Heroes had a better character.
All life-form data successfully copied.
Why can't I defeat you? Because we're Sonic Heroes.
The main reason I like that version of Metal is because he looked like the Sonic 3 and Knuckles one.
Hell yeah.
And of course, we refer to him as Metalix. That's what his name was in the UK Sonic the comic.
Oh yeah, the Brotherhood of Metalix. Yeah, it was genius stuff.
Mhm.
Go back to some more trivia for Silver. Of course, some people of course know that. Well, he actually went through. It's claimed he went through 150 different designs before the final one was actually approved.
That's like all the original Pokemon minus Mew.
Yeah, and it's like, just figure out why is Mew 101 when Mewtwo's a clone of him and yet he's 150? That makes no sense.
I always think that every day, precisely at 10 o'clock.
But I digress. Yeah, 150 designs. Although it's claimed most of those were simply his shoes and head design.
Likely, yeah.
Yeah, and originally he wasn't even a Hedgehog. He was a orange mink called Venice. The reason for that, Tom, is,
Of course, Soriano is based on Venice, the city of water.
Yep.
Oh, aren't I just full of random crap?
But yeah, I'm not sure why. At some point, I guess they thought, oh no, let's make him a Hedgehog. Which, I honestly think the character would have probably been better received if he wasn't a Hedgehog.
Right, should we just get one thing straight about Silver here?
What's that?
I, in no way, shape, or form, dislike Silver, okay? And, you're just going to get some fanboy saying, because we are critically discussing his, abilities and whatnot, that, although you hate Silver.
Yeah, it's just the same. I think Silver, he's an interesting character, like a character who has telekinesis and stuff, but I don't think they try to have him, in his character, they try to have him as like the character who has the weight of the world on his shoulder, like we see later on. This cut, one of my favourite cutscenes in this game is one where he's sitting down quietly by himself, and Blaze comes up behind him and he's like, to kill someone to save the world, is it the right thing to do? I think that I know I give this game quite a bit of crap, but I actually think that I wish they would have taken that aspect of his character and expanded that more rather than just the "you must die, Iblis Trigger."
That's the sad thing about this game. You can clearly see the potential, but it's just not achieved.
Yeah, especially like we talked about in the many mistakes video. I mean, you could make a whole video just on the concepts that are slightly hinted at. Which, if they were expanded, and you've missed that for the 5th time now, the concept that if they were just expanded on, like we talked about, like if they expanded more on like Shadow being portrayed in the future, and stuff like Silver really thinking about whether it's the right thing to do to kill somebody, you would have had a much better, in my opinion, a much better story.
May I just say that Blaze is one of the best Amigo characters.
Oh, and her voice, of course, one of the most, I think Mephiles and Blaze tend to come off in a lot of the fan reviews as having the best voices. Of course, Blaze was voiced by Betta Hudson, who first recorded her in Rush, although she only has like 2 lines in Rush. She was a voice actor who voiced Maria in the Sonic X Club.
Nice.
What was I going? I forgot what I was saying now. Oh yeah, so like again, I myself don't really hate Silver either. I just think that in terms of this game, in my opinion, he gets a lot of flack for his crappy voice, and to be fair, his voice actor isn't the best.
Well, I think he can do a good job. The potential is there.
I feel I honestly think cutscene that when you see him at the end, he goes, "I finally found him, the Iblis Trigger." I actually think he does a very good job with that line. I mean, it actually sounds very good. Which is like, again, I think I've said this before. Like, you can't place the blame solely on Pete Capella. I think you gotta, put like 1/3 his fault, 1/3 the voice director, and 1/4 the scriptwriter. Because you can't. I honestly believe that the script is. I think it varies from scene. Some scenes I think are written quite well. Other scenes are just written terribly.
And speaking of voice actors, you may say Jason Griffith's quite crap. Have you heard him in Secret Rings?
Yeah, I've always said that. I've always said, I think he's quite bad in this game, but I honestly believe he does a very, very good job in Secret Rings.
And speaking of Secret Rings, I'm quite looking forward to Black Knight. See what that brings.
Yeah, although my only problem is that as Darkspawn Sonic, he sounds like Jet the Hawk. That's my only problem with it.
Next time, try writing a better story. And that was terrible. I'm sorry.
Supposed to be the fastest thing alive. Oh wait, that's me. Just quickly, Tom, what did you think of Silver's theme song?
Odd Dreams of an Absolution.
Yep.
I liked it, both versions, but I preferred the remix.
Or the Johnson U remix, Dreams of an Absolution LB versus JS remix. And
Brilliant song.
Just to end on this, my claim to fame, I've actually met Lee Brotherton, singer of that song. I scared him in a toilet once. Go me!
Well, on that terrifying note, we shall end it for part 1 and join us in part 2, where hopefully we can explain a bit more about Silver's gameplay mechanics. See you later.
Yeah.